actively helping veterans. If you're a veteran of any military branch, you're invited to come join them. Meetings are held the first Tuesday of every month at 6:30, and they're located at 10769 West Lee Highway in Loudon. American Legion Post 120. Veterans still serving. Tire Pros, located at Ag Central in Loudon, has a state-of-the-art alignment machine. They offer oil changes, tire rotation, and balancing, including road force balancing. Tire Pros has a complete selection of tires, and they do repairs. Tire Pros, 2084 Wesley Highway in Loudon. Phone 458-2057. You can watch live coverage of Philadelphia Warrior baseball at redskinradio.com. Just scroll down the page and look for the Warrior Nation player box. Coverage is sponsored by Barnard Construction and insurance agent Nick Jones. In addition to live coverage, you can watch past games anytime on demand. Just go to redskinradio.com, a free service of 96.1 WLNT.
Welcome back. Mike Thompson along with Scott Hope as tonight the Loudon Redskins, for all intent and purpose, lock up a district championship. They've got 2 games to play with McMinn Central, but they've distanced themselves from the second place teams. And Scott, it didn't come easy here tonight as the Redskins defensively shown a little chink in their armor and helped some runs.
Better term, I think they just had a meltdown. 7 errors is what we had for them, and that's just totally unacceptable, for, win or lose. Loudon is very fortunate to come out of this game with a victory because their defense sure didn't do anything to help them.
So the Sweetwater Wildcats got 1 in the top of the first. The Redskins answered with 1 of their own in the bottom of the second, after Sweetwater added 3 more in the top of the second, so they led 4-1 at the end of 2. Redskins cut into it with a run of their own in the third, and then in the 4th inning, Sweetwater added a run, and then 2 more in the 6th, and then in the bottom of the 5th, the Redskins added 3, and then 3 more in the 5th and the 6th to pull out an 8-7 victory here at Bill Thompson Field. And, my line shows for the Wildcats 3 hits, 7 runs, 1 error. And for the Redskins, 9 hits, 8 runs, and 7 errors. And don't want to keep harping on that, but that'll certainly keep your opponent in games when you're in that mode. And so got some things to work on. So.
Yeah, you definitely need to work on that before you start getting into the district tournament. You won't stick around long with that.
As we wait on some players and coaches, I'll do my public service announcement. During the month of May, WLNT will salute our 2021 graduating seniors. And if you're a business owner or an individual that would like to salute our seniors, contact Chip Lynn at 458-9563. The phones are answered 24 hours a day, and we always have good response out of that as we salute the seniors each and every year, and Chip broadcasts the graduation ceremonies. And we're now joined by at least one player, Big Rylan Watson, who I give a sumo body slam to start the game looking for a hit, and he finally found one in a big stand-up double. And Rylan now joined by Jackson Walker, who makes his way up to the press box as well. And Rylan, this one didn't come easy.
No, it did not. Hard fought. Yep. Had to stay in it. I don't think there was ever a doubt in our mind that we were going to lose that game. And, you could tell on the offensive side of the ball, we fumbled a little bit on defense, but made up for it on offense.
We talked about pregame how you guys all know these Sweetwater guys from Summer League baseball, from being 4-year seniors to Little League football and all the above. Is it special because you know them personally, or it's special because it's Sweetwater? They were pushing you in the district standings. Just a big win.
Yeah. Me, Trey, and Lumpy, we played against these guys forever. I've played Dixie Youth with some of these kids. I know them very well. Yeah, that's a good ball club. They gave us a run for our money.
Tremendous effort on the mound on the part of Briley Dugan, and I called him Bailey all night. Or I got it wrong till they made the change, and then I got corrected. So I apologize to the entire Dugan family. But certainly you got work to do. You'll go out. We'll jump out of district play, make a trip up to Smoky Stadium, which I know will be a reward of some sort, getting to play in the big place up there. And then we're on the road next week and finish up next Friday with another big rival game as we'll travel up to Lenoir City after making a couple of trips midweek.
Well, I just got to stay focused and just play one game at a time and keep our heads in it.
As a senior catcher, do you ever go out and these young pitchers and young infielders and want to give them a sumo wrestle like I gave you?
Sometimes, whenever they get a little wild, but it's yeah, they're young, but that's what I'm supposed to do. Go out there and help them calm down, and for the most part, they do a pretty good job. So.
Pretty solid job.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Ryland, for coming by. You go straight home. I know Mom's wanting to wash that uniform, as she always does, and wipe a little sweat off your brow.
Coach Busey might want me to go take a shower, too, because I probably stink.
All
He don't
right.
like getting around me.
Now let's bring in Jackson Walker. And Jackson, last night at Sweetwater, you got the offense going, and tonight you come in the third inning and work 5 hard innings on the mound, and it was a challenge against these Sweetwater Wildcats.
That's one of the most amazing ball games I've ever played. The heart in that game, we never gave up. Even when we were down 4-0, we
kept coming back.
It was. I got emotional at the end of the game because I'm so proud of everybody.
And from the mound, it appeared to us up here that you went leaning on the breaking ball quite a bit.
I think we went 5 pitches in a row of curveball.
I think maybe 7. I think we took
7.
Is Watson smart enough to call that, or that comes from somewhere else?
That comes from Coach Busey, but it sure was working.
And you had it going on.
Yeah, they were leaning out on the breaking ball and missing it, so we just relied on it. And if we ever saw them making good contact on the curveball, we went fastball.
Do you always have the confidence that whatever they call that you're going to do it?
All the time. I trust them completely. Sometimes I don't think it's the right pitch, but I'm usually wrong.
don't want to throw any spears at anybody, but the defense, we kicked it around a little bit. But again, you overcame, picked up the hits when you needed to do it, and scored 8 runs, and all they had was 7.
I know Braxton's. I see him down on the field right now.
Now I didn't call no names.
No, I know he's not happy with himself right now, but. He came up with a big.
I've got a diagnosis for that, but I'll save that for later, okay? Jackson, great win, basically clinch a district title. Can't overlook McMinn Central. They're going to come in here and want to spoil something for you.
Yes, sir.
But stay the course. You get to travel some this next week and see some places maybe that you hadn't seen and got to play on, and I know that'll be exciting. You'll be seeing some stiff competition that gets you ready as we get into that district tournament later on. So thank you very much for coming by. That's Jackson Walker, pitcher on the mound to finish this one off in the big 8-7 victory over the Sweetwater Wildcats. We're now joined by Coach Lambert, and Coach Lambert's having to hydrate just a little bit.
I guess so. I guess if you call drinking a Coke up here, I guess that's hydrating.
Well, I'm dry as a piece of cotton right now. I've talked about this one so much. I'll have to admit, I've done a little stomping and a little other things. Some nights it just happens.
It's tough when your team plays a certain way where, you know that you can play better, plain and simple. But they had a lot of fight in them, and they came back twice today. I mean,
yes.
From 2 deficits.
Yes.
And that's hard to do when you come back from a deficit, you take a lead or you tie it up. You feel like you got a little bit of momentum going your way, and then when the team comes back and punches you right back in the mouth, and you get down again, you kind of feel like the tires deflate. So our guys were able to come back and put some pressure on them on the bases and at the plate, and that's exactly what we needed at the time.
I think, in my observation, you had the right speed on the base pass when you really needed it.
Absolutely, that's a great observation. I mean, anytime you can get McKenzie and Jackson and Dawkins on the base pass, and then, some of our other guys that are not necessarily super speedsters or anything like that, but they're just smart and instinctive, like both Jacob and Matthew Mead and Braxton on the base pass. I mean, they do a great job on the bases. But, it's one of those things where you play Sweetwater and they're going to come after you with everything they've got. That's why it's one of the best rivalries in our district, and it'll always be that way. So they always come out here. They compete extremely well. The great tradition of athletics there, so that's going to happen. And especially with Coach Travis Watson, he's out there coaching up his team really well and pushing them, and they're right at the right place at the right time to come up with some big plays and some big at bats. So. Hopefully we don't have to face them again, truthfully.
Well, I'm sure that they've all got their sights set on you now when we do get to district tournament play.
Well, today was an important day.
Yeah.
All our guys know, and in our district, if you end up being the top seed or any top seed for that matter, when you're playing someone with a lower seed, you get to host the game.
Right.
So regardless of what happens in the tournament for us, we know that every game that we play in the district tournament will be at home. So
now,
that's a big deal for us.
Let me stop you right there. That's where it really starts burning on your seniors, that
Sure.
it may be their last one here on Bill Thompson Field.
Sure, and they can also play in your favor a little bit because they're going to push those
Sure.
younger guys to say, this is not my last one. I want to keep going. I want to keep going.
There you go.
And that's the difficult part of playoff atmosphere is that, a lot of times, and in most of those games, somebody's season's ending. And that's not an easy thing for anybody because everybody's playing with a lot of passion and heart, and they want to keep going. And I know really well that these guys don't want to be in that position. So hopefully home field advantage should play in our favor a little bit.
And so after tonight, you've got a road schedule that you've got going to go play a couple up at Smoky Stadium. I'm sure that'll help them get past the big-eyed, big place syndrome. And then you're on the road all next week. And we plan on trying to get up to Lenoir City and broadcast that, and if there's permission granted. And so
Sure.
Going on the road for a stretch is somewhat of a challenge, too, to prepare you for possible tournament action on down the road.
We've got an incredibly difficult stretch of games coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll play Claiborne and Elizabethton, two great opponents from up northeast. Got good friends with those coaches, and I know they coach them up really well. We'll play them at Smoky Stadium with a three-man crew, real big league atmosphere. They're opening up their indoor training facility for all the teams. It's really nice, and I'm glad that they're so hospitable for us to be able to go up there and try to have a big league atmosphere a little bit. And then next week we'll play Heritage and William Blount and Lenoir City, and those are all great opponents. Big schedule for the next 5 games. We're going to be playing some really tough teams. This is good for us. We have these games circled, and we knew that this is going to be a stretch. It's almost going to feel like a playoff stretch.
Yeah.
Because every team that you're going to play is going to have good pitching, good defense, competitive and timely hitting. So we got to make sure that we're bringing it. We can't play this on a day, off a day type business.
Right.
Sort of been our motto or been our thing recently, where we've been having a good game, then having a not so good game, or having a not so good game, and then coming back the next day and rebounding and doing better. It's even if it's a loss, it seems to be that way. But we've got to find a way to sustain and build off of our successes, and face adversity head on, and I think our guys have what it takes to do that. We just got to be able to come back on the next day and build off of what we've been doing.
Well, Coach, I know you're excited about the big win. Congratulations on the big win, and good luck next week as you hit the road for a number of games. Big district win to defeat the Sweetwater Wildcats by a score of 8-7, and there's only one thing left for me to say. Redskins win! Redskins win! Redskins win!
You've been listening to Loudon Redskin Baseball on 96.1 WLNT.
This broadcast, copyright 2021 WLNT Sports.
Remember, there's only one place to hear the Redskins, 96.1 WLNT and redskinradio.com.